Can inebriety be cured? Here are some facts from prominent men regarding the Keeley cure for the drink and drug habit. It really cures. It does what it professes to do. Such is the emphatic testimony of Mr. Eardley Wilmot, the well-known secretary of the Church of England Temperance Society, who for some 10 years has had the Keeley method under close observation in this country. He adds, "I do not wish to use high-flown language, but really and truly I look upon the Keeley cure as a modern miracle." And then he tells how case after case that had been considered hopeless, all the other known forms of treatment having been tried, has yielded speedily to the Keeley cure, the patients returning to their work, full of vigor and happy in the restoration of all that makes life worth living. He has sent bad cases which his society were unable to deal with. These cases numbered in all 40, and Mr. Wilmot says that out of these only 4 have lapsed, while the remaining 36 recovered and have been total abstainers ever since. Furthermore, Mr. W. Hinde Smith, of the National Council of Young Men's Christian Associations, a gentleman in the first rank of practical philanthropists, and one who habitually brings to bear upon the consideration of all matters a keen observation, a wide experience, and a sound judgment, declares that in his opinion after 10 years of constant service on the investigating committee of the Keeley cure that it is the only effective cure for chronic alcoholism and drug addiction of which he is aware. The principles of it are easily explained. The man or woman upon whom has fallen the disease of intemperance goes to the Keeley Institute as he or she would go to any hospital or nursing home. They go of their own free will, or they are not admitted. If they do not wish to be cured, the administrators of the institute will have none of them. Even when they consent to come, they are left a free agent to go in and out at will, so long as they are there at stated hours of the day when the treatment is administered. The treatment takes 4 weeks, and is carried out in England only at the Keeley Institute, at 6, Grenville Place, Cromwell Road, London, SW. It consists of injections of the curative solution 4 times a day, and a tonic which is taken every 2 hours during the day. At the beginning of the treatment the patient is provided a liberal amount of the best whiskey, if he desires it, or, if the addiction be in the category of drugs, the accustomed dose is allowed, but after 2 or 3 days the old craving for alcohol disappears for good and all. For drugs it takes longer. As a matter of fact, both these conditions are diseases, and have to be treated as such. Dean Farrar has truly said, "Alcohol is one of a number of lethal drugs which have the fatal property of creating for themselves a crave which in many people becomes an appetite which strengthens into a vice which ends in disease, a disease which constitutes a crushing and degrading slavery." The Keeley treatment here steps in, braces the will, strengthens the physical basis of the patient, and destroys all craving for alcohol. As has been already observed, the Keeley treatment has been employed in this country for many years under the auspices of a committee of broad-minded men of affairs who have satisfied themselves by personal investigation, not only of the efficacy of the cure, but of its permanency in nearly every case. During the whole of this period, the chairman of committee has been the Reverend James Fleming, B.D., Canon of York, chaplain into His Majesty the King. Canon Fleming keeps in constant touch with the operations of the Keeley Institute, espousing both in public and in private the cause of this practical cure with all the forceful eloquence which distinguishes him. It sounds almost too good to be true, this gospel of the cure of the most formidable disease of the time. But the years have proved that it is an absolute fact. Scores of thousands of drunkards, all the world over, have been cured by Dr. Keeley's method, and are still being cured, and it has justified its existence by the incontestable fact that an increasing number of patients are received year after year, and are sent away cured. A discerning British public appreciates hard facts. The published annual reports of Canon Fleming's committee covering the last decade, and which can be had for the asking, are full of facts and figures that every citizen should read, mark, learn, and inwardly digest. These reports are highly interesting, containing, as they do, authentic information as to the cures affected it, whether the trouble had been alcoholism, morphinism, or nervous prostration. Some of the patients had been victims to the drink or drug habit for very many years. Cures are the rules, and what is more, they are permanent. Among cures the patients are physicians, lawyers, clergymen, journalists, and men generally who do the brain work of the world.